Dear students, welcome to English literature class. We were reading about a very famous essay, Walden, by Henry David Thoreau. And now, today, we will discuss about the remaining part of Walden by Henry David Thoreau. So, this is your part second, the remaining part. We have discussed about the writer Henry David Thoreau. We all know he was an American essayist, poet, philosopher, and environmental scientist. And he was also a transcendentalist. His famous creations, Walden and Civil Disobedience. Especially, we have discussed about nature, because nature is the most important aspect in this chapter. So, in the essay, Walden, the author Thoreau mentions about the problems of living in the world as a human being. So, in this chapter, the author mentions about the life of a human being, and he tries to connect the life of the human being to nature, and he wants to convey his message that nature is the most important part in our life. The book is a world changing because the book suggests us that nature is important, materialistic life is not important. But we all people somewhere involved with materialistic life, such like earning money and spending that money upon our physical pleasure, and we always ignore nature. But nature is the most important. If you want to get the real happiness, if you want to get the real sense of your life, then you will have to live in nature. In the essay, we see that the author is a great lover of nature, great lover of nature, no doubt. The author shares his personal experience in the essay. So in the essay, the author shares his personal experience because he stays a short period of his life in the lap of nature, and where he got the real peace, the real happiness. And after spending his life in the lap of nature, he wrote this essay. He wants to live in the lap of nature. In the lap of nature. So he wants to live in a place which is surrounded by nature, which is surrounded by natural objects. Thoreau seeks a living place that is separate from society. So This is also an important point in the chapter, that Thoreau uh, doesn't want to live in society, and he tries to tell the readers that society is equal to fake life. So he wants to live a separate life from society. Separate from society is equal to close to nature. In the chapter, we find that we cannot get pleasure from materialistic life. We cannot get pleasure from materialistic life. The author intends to buy the Hollowell farm, or we can say a field, or we can say a place which is surrounded by natural objects. And Hollowell is the name of that farm, and the author wants to live a separate life from society. So now he wishes to buy the Hollowell farm, where he will live his life in the lap of nature. He prefers to live in nature. In the essay, Independence Day, self-reliant is the symbol of the day when Thoreau starts with the company of nature. The day when Thoreau starts with the company of nature, that day is the symbol of his Independence Day. Means, before the company of nature, he used to live in society, and in that society he was not independent, he was dependent. He was like a slave in the society. But now he starts to live in nature. So now he has got freedom. It means now he is living his life with the fullest. Thoreau has a close relationship with nature, and description of a pond, misty in the early morning, sometimes still and clear while raining. So raining is also a natural object. So he describes pond, and the atmosphere of pond in early morning, and he describes about the rainy day. Every morning the author baths in the pond, calling it a religious exercise, because pond here refers to nature, and with the company of nature he feels some kind of religiousness. Thoreau criticizes society. Thoreau doesn't like society and appreciates the nature. we see that in the chapter, the author Thoreau appreciates the nature that makes him happy, the nature that makes him happy. And this is not his personal thought. This thought has a universal thought that all the human beings with the company of nature will be happy. Thoreau mentions that morning time is very appropriate time for poetry and art. Morning time, because in the morning we get a very fresh atmosphere and fresh air, and we can feel the nature. In the morning time we can feel the nature. So according to author, morning time is the appropriate time for poetry and art, the time of intelligence wake. So according to Thoreau, morning time is the time of intelligence wake. Every person should make his life meaningful. Thoreau mentions that every person should make his life meaningful. The author believes in simple life, the life which relates to nature. The author believes in simple life, the life which relates to nature, a simple life with nature. The author believes in simple life with nature. According to author, people who take interest, yes, according to author, people who take interest in the news are concerned with the trivial dealings of society. We see that in society, most people always try to know about others people's personal life. It means they are not living their life, they are just making observation others' life, and this is a trivial, a mean thing which happen in the society. So this is not a good thing regarding society. The pursuit of truth and nature is important. Truth, always try to follow the path of truth, and nature is important for us. Wealth and material possessions are petty and fleeting. Wealth and material possessions are petty and fleeting. So here we see that wealth and material possessions are temporary, and the happiness from wealth and material possessions are also temporary. So in this chapter, the author mentions that if you want to get the real and permanent and everlasting happiness, you will have to maintain the company of nature. So this is your essay, Walden by Thoreau. Thank you so much.